Kurt Zouma. There was talk about Kurt Zouma potentially being on the bench against Leeds, and I think a lot of us kind of wish he was. But unfortunately, not only is he just returning from injury, apparently he also went down with a bit of COVID as well. But we have been told quite confidently that he will be back in the team for the Man United game this weekend. And I think an awful lot of us are thinking he ain't going to be on the bench. He's actually starting because boy, oh boy, have we missed him. Another player that's coming back who's been sorely missed is Thomas Soucek. He's also ready to return against the Man United as well. And I think we only realised just how much we really miss a player like Soucek. He's getting heavily criticised at the beginning of the season because he wasn't scoring enough goals and all that sort of stuff. But what Soucek, what people forget to realise is how much of the dirty work Thomas Soucek is there to do as well. And I think we've kind of really, really missed him. And he's ready to be in the lineup against Man United as well. Now, I've alluded to this and I've said this already. I think the lineup for Man United is going to be this. It's going to be Fabianski, although I really want Areola to start, but I don't think it will happen. It's going to be Soufal, but I think in fairness, Johnson probably deserves this opportunity as well. Dawson, Zouma, Creswell. I think Declan alongside Soucek, and then for Laos, Lanzini, Bowen, and Antonio. So it's not going to be much different to the last few games. You just know it's going to be the same, with the only difference being Diop will drop out and Zouma will come in. But that does strengthen our team somewhat. Look, Man United is a big game coming up this weekend. We had an opportunity to kind of cement our fourth place a little bit. But if we can get a result against Man U, we can go there. And I think they're there for the taking. Ironically, despite having such a bad game against Leeds, I think Man United are there for the taking at the weekend. I'm going. And apparently I've got to be somewhere at 7:30 to get a lift up there. Looks like I might just miss the game. Right, let's talk about Alex Kral, shall we? Because a lot of you have talked about him already. There is been news come out today that he is likely to return to Spartak Moscow because his current loan spell hasn't quite gone to plan. The Spartak Moscow sporting director, Luka Katani, has suggested that the Russian club may call time on his loan spell because he's just not getting the game time that they thought he was going to get. Now, I don't know if it is about. Look, there's a couple of reasons that people are talking about why he's not getting game time. One of the things we're aware of is he did have bad COVID couple of months back and he missed a whole load of games, and apparently he was, it took him quite a while to get match fit again and so on and so forth. Now, I get that and I understand it, and I don't think that's an excuse, because I think I mentioned it in my show last week. I've got a friend who's got a son who plays for Norwich, and he also had the same situation, and it took ages for him, and he's only just started to return getting match fit in the under 23s again, and that took a good couple of months. So I get that, and I think there's an element of truth in that. Other people are suggesting he's just rubbish. We can't say that. I don't think David Moyes would have brought a player in that's just no good. Why do that? But other people are suggesting it's all because of money, about appearances, and apparently if he plays a certain number of hours or certain number of minutes or certain number of games, that we've got an obligation to buy him. If we don't know what he's like, we're never going to know whether it's worth buying him or not. So anyway, I think Moyes also, you've got to think, what he does with players. He's done it with Bowen, he's done it with Benrahma, he's done it with quite a number of players where he's slowly brought them in. Moyes' way is not just to throw a player in on the deep end, unless you're a Kurt Zouma, of course. And I just wonder if that's what Moyes is doing, a slowly approach. Unfortunately, you can do that with permanent signings. Doesn't quite work so well when you've got a loan signing. I don't know. I think we talked about it already. I think there's been opportunities for Kral to play. I think he'll get his time against Kidderminster. I think Occo Flex will play. I think Kral will play against Kidderminster. If either of those two players do not start in that game, then maybe for Occo Flex, you might say, well, Moyes still doesn't think he's ready. But if Kral doesn't start that game against Kidderminster, I'll hold my hand up and say what everyone else is saying, that Moyes just doesn't fancy him. And maybe, but by that time, he's going to have to either go back to Moscow before the end of January, or he's got to get game, or he's got to be kept on and be given game time against Kidderminster. I don't know. Right, next up, Saeed Benrahma. Yes, the Saeed Benrahma's AFCON dream may be coming to an end sooner rather than expected. Now, despite Algeria being the much fancied team of the tournament, they won it last time round. They're the tournament holders. They drew their first game against Sierra Leone, and then they got beat by Equatorial Guinea in the next game. And in the if they have to stay into the competition, they've got to beat Ivory Coast on Thursday. And Sebastian, I believe, is an Ivory Coast striker. So he might put an end to Saeed Benrahma's AFCON dream. Now, I think it'd be great to have him back sooner rather than later. I don't give a damn about the AFCON. So it'll be good for us.